have a few personal investments in Evans here from OpenX, which is moving into the exchange business. And I saw David Kidder from Clickable, which is more on the ad network side. Adam Bain is here with some of the folks, and we had at Fox Audience Network, which is a network, obviously. So I'm on every side of this. I've hedged myself completely, personally. I'm good. So however this one plays out, I'm cool with it. But I do think it's really interesting to think about, because we have two emerging kind of models right now. Obviously the networks, premium inventory, let's take it aside for a second. The network model versus the exchange. And I think, again, I'm assuming sort of this is kind of crowd that's into this stuff. So they do different things, and I think what we're likely to see is, for the short term at least, if you go back to my last point, for the short term at least, there's going to be challenges on pricing and metrics and all kinds of things like that are going to serve to keep the ad networks to be valuable. Now, at the same time, you have the rise of the ad exchanges. Now, this one I think has perhaps a happy ending. I think there's a role for both. Exchanges take lots of inventory, broadly make that inventory visible and valuable. And then what the ad networks do is they go in and target, right? They have their own targeting mechanisms, and they all have their ways of adding value, and they go in there and target. So you have a very, very fragmented marketplace of ad networks, which gave rise to things like Rubicon, Frank's here, but it's on last night. Things like Rubicon that optimize stuff, in that case on behalf of publishers, and exchanges that provide a place where you can go in and find lots of different inventory to your needs. So I think this one I'm more optimistic about. Because I think that networks add value to exchanges and vice versa. And I think these two coexist, which is why I'm betting on both sides. So I think this is good, and it helps bring up the overall performance marketplace. And it may eventually spill into the premium marketplace, and that will be the interesting thing. So to me, whereas I think there's a kind of resolution between these, the question to me is, what happens in the premium marketplace? Does it start to come into this more automated world, or is it still in the world of sellers, so to speak? When there's an art of selling. Michael, you can answer that one too. And I think, obviously the answer will be a mix of some. But I think what's interesting is premium inventory has heretofore stayed out of that way of transacting, and I think we'll begin to see it pulled in somewhat into these exchange plus network model. But we'll see how that plays out. I think an interesting side question to it is, where's the ad agency in all of this? And how much technology are they getting into versus how much are they allowing ad networks and exchanges to, in essence, provide that technology for them, as opposed to it being a primary function of an ad agency. We can leave that for another discussion or more questions. So lastly, on these points, I'll talk about one that I've been wrong about for a long time. And I want to keep saying it until someday I'm right.